Hello again. What I want to do in this video is jump ahead a little bit into the second part of this overall project, into an area where I want to talk about the idea of knowledge, because I think knowledge as an idea is a really significant part of this stuff that we call thought. Knowledge seems to have a very particular set of ontologies within the overall understandings of what thinking and meaning consists of, and I think there is a very particular set of what I'm calling poetic structures which organise the experience that we call knowledge. So I want to just start trying to address that. What I've got today, and I'm going to be reading off the screen here, is just a basic introduction to that, and then I'm going to go into more detail. This introduction lays out the territory that I want to try and address. And I guess the next few videos we'll try to address it, straightforward enough. Alright, okay, so here I'm going to be talking about the concept of knowledge. Okay, the concept of knowledge covers a wide variety of different expressions, with a correspondingly wide range of applications, values and inclusions. A small sample of these might include the objective knowledge, subjective, and I'll just say at this point, by the way, that this idea of the objective and the subjective is going to be really kind of key, and I need to put that one in first really. So I'm going to be talking about objective and subjective knowledge probably in the next video. But other kinds of appellations that we attach to the word knowledge: objective, subjective, tacit, explicit, declarative, propositional, carnal knowledge we talk about, occult knowledge, procedural knowledge. There's a set of understandings about possessive and performative and proactive knowledge, and then there's an approach to knowledge which refers to it as situated or located. Wide variety of different terms. And while some of these terms come in pairs, such as tacit and explicit, or subjective and objective, come in pairs, most of them appear unconnected one to another, and their coexistence within an overall category that one might call knowledge seems a matter of convenience rather than structure. What I'm saying there is, on the face of it, there's no real reason why carnal knowledge and occult knowledge and empirical knowledge and situated knowledge, what's the relationship between those things? There's no good reason why these things all consist of knowledge, unless you say that one of them is primary and everything else is just a kind of fake, and I don't really want to say that. It seems more arbitrary than perhaps is useful. Convenience rather than structure. The diversity in these terms appears to offer no overall epistemological picture which we might use to relate the different terms. And likewise, the objects and events to which these terms are applied, the content of all these different types of knowing, can also appear unconnected. And to the extent that such contents of knowing are related, as for example in the Dewey Decimal Systems in our libraries, by sharing page space in our encyclopedias, in school and university prospectuses, and in the various trees of knowledge that have been produced, to the extent that these different knowledge forms exist in those places, such relationships smack of the arbitrary. A good example that has been produced, a good example of such trees include that centerpiece of Enlightenment thought, and this is going to really test me here because this is French and I'm not a good French speaker. The centerpiece of Enlightenment thought, the Encyclopédie ou Dictionnaire raisonné des sciences, des arts et des métiers of Diderot and d'Alembert, with its exhaustive arboreal analysis of not only rational knowledge but also poetics, metaphysics and black magic. That dictionary is available online, by the way, and there's a good picture of the frontispiece, the picture at the front on Wikipedia. Whilst such a mapping may give the appearance of connectedness and ultimately of coherence, this is actually an exercise in taxonomy rather than structure, of categorization rather than consilience. We might be tempted, we might be tempted to say that knowledge organisation has moved on considerably since the 18th century, when the Encyclopédie was written. And it's certainly true that few modern encyclopedias would give the same page space to divination as to the dressing of chamois leather, which one finds in Diderot and D'Alembert. However, in terms of the development of a coherent image of how the different forms of knowing operate, little has changed, and improvements have largely consisted of the cultivation of those branches of the tree which support the weight of scientific progress, and the vigorous pruning of those limbs which do not. Taxonomic strategies of knowledge organisation do not reveal the inner working of the great body of knowledge. Rather, they place the bones here, the viscera there, substituting the living pattern that connects with the geometrical placing of body parts in neatly labelled amphora. What I will be saying in this section is that knowledge in all its forms does have a coherence, and that this coherence comes from the way our minds and our bodies work in relation to that knowledge. Okay, I just want to qualify that last paragraph, because what I don't want to say here, and what I'm absolutely not saying, is that all knowledge is kind of equivalent, and that occult knowledge and carnal knowledge and situated knowledge is all equally valid. And I'm not talking that kind of postmodern cultural relativistic, any kind of that kind of stuff. What I'm saying here is that those different terms for different types of knowledge, if you like, are connected, that they are related, they have particular values perhaps in particular situations, but they're not equivalent, they're not equal, but they are part of a coherent and conciliant whole through which that whole set of ideas, thoughts, meanings and practices is integrated. And that's what I want to go on to next. Okay, thanks very much for watching.